The air pageant at Air Force Base Waterkloof in Pretoria was the first major international military air show ever to be held in Southern Africa. This was the climax of a year-long series of celebrations to mark the 75th anniversary of the second oldest air force in the world, the South African Air Force. With over 400,000 people attending over the 4 days of the show, it was undoubtedly the biggest military air show ever held in Africa. The experience of being able to witness firsthand the capabilities of modern military air power and aircraft never before seen in this country can only be described as awesome. The powerful, spectacular, and ultra-precision flying displays kept the crowd spellbound in an event which is unlikely to be repeated within the next 20 years. The sleek lines of numerous foreign aircraft gracing the flight line and the presence of air crews from around the world was a clear indication of the tremendous strides that South Africa has made in its international relations over the past few years. President Nelson Mandela made a surprise visit to the operations flight line to meet with the foreign air crews and to be shown the high-tech aspects of some of the most advanced military aircraft in the world today. It was also an opportunity to meet with the South African Air Force's Silver Falcons aerobatic team, the flagship of the South African Air Force, and to compare modern sophisticated air power with our own Impala jet trainer, which is now nearly 30 years old. It's not only the mere survival of the South African Air Force that gives cause for celebration, but also the outstanding achievement through 75 years of meritorious service to the country and its people by the men and women of the South African Air Force. At the opening parade, tribute was paid to every member of the force for their dedicated contribution over the past 75 years, making the South African Air Force the pride of the nation. The Air Force is a national asset, not only in times of war, but also in times of peace. The International Air Show acted as a show window to demonstrate the SAAF's mission of utilizing its capabilities to secure the airspace for both military and civilian aviation. The flexibility of the Air Force has made them an important role player in humanitarian relief and aid programs, as well as making a valuable contribution to the development and stability of the entire Southern African region. The arrival of the Royal Air Force's crack aerobatic team, the Red Arrows, and static display of aircraft which included the Boeing Sentry, an early warning and surveillance platform, represented the best of British. British Aerospace sponsored the most ambitious tour yet undertaken by the Royal Air Force, with South Africa as first stop on a world tour, which would include the Middle East and Asia. The Red Arrows fly the Hawk 2C trainer, and it was the first time that these aircraft were displayed in the country. Flying the 11 aircraft from Europe and down Africa to attend the show took a lot of planning and effort from both sides. The Red Arrow's presence would not only enhance the RAF's reputation, but would symbolize the strengthening of ties and relations between the two countries.
The warmth of the welcome, the hospitality is truly outstanding. It's difficult to describe. I guess the Brits are a little bit reserved at times, but our boys are having a very good time. We've been very well looked after, very well hosted. You know, we shared the same father. You know, Jan Smuts was there in the formation of the Royal Air Force, and he was here for the formation of the South African Air Force. So we're brothers from a long way back, and I guess this is just a family reunion that's taken 30 years too long to actually sort out. So it's very pleasing.
The ground crew for the Red Arrows accompany the team on tour. Without their professional efficiency, a tour and display of this size could not be undertaken. The Red Arrows were formed in 1965 and only started flying the Hawk trainer in a 9-ship formation in 1979. Pilots that are selected for the team serve for a period of 3 years before moving on to other squadrons. The development of aerobatic skills results in more capable pilots, with the Red Arrows demonstrating the high standard of excellence which has become the hallmark of the Royal Air Force. Having performed in 45 different countries and with 3,000 displays to their credit, the non-stop spectacle of ultra-precision flying was to be the highlight of the show. After a formation takeoff, the team joins up to form a diamond, which is the basis for all their aerobatic maneuvers. After having formed the 9 Arrow, they enter the show area and during the loop change back into diamond.
Having arrived in 9 Arrow, the team have pulled into a loop and changed into our signature formation, the diamond. At the tip of the diamond is Red 1 Squadron Leader John Brown.
The team then position for a big vixen roll in front of the crowd. It's an extremely difficult maneuver that requires supreme concentration to keep all 9 aircraft in perfect formation. It's then into Fred, or the Feathered Arrow, where Reds 2 and 3 lead 4 and 5 all the way forward, and numbers 8 and 9 move forward 1 length to form the Feathers.
400 miles an hour. The aircraft will slow to some 160 miles an hour over the top, reaching about 6,000 or 7,000 feet. Ladies and gentlemen, the Tango split.
The team splits into 2 separate formations of 4 and 5 aircraft. This is the part of the show where things happen quickly, with the synchro pair performing a heart-stopping opposition roll, where they cross each other with minimal separation and at high closing speed.
At 7 barrels around the smoke left by
This is quickly followed by the corkscrew maneuver.
Who now roll upside down to join the front.
After the Caterpillar, which is a loop inline astern formation, Reds 6, 7, 8 and 9 regroup to form the Jippo team in a box formation.
Jippo returned in a car 4 formation and pulled into a loop. At the front of the synchro pair, Reds 6 and 7, closely followed by Reds 8 and 9. As the formation comes to point vertically down, they will each roll away from each other for the card split.
While the synchro pair demonstrate the ability of the Hawk trainer and the skill of the Red Arrow pilots, Reds 1 through to 5 approach at 250 knots in a V formation to perform synchronized rollback maneuvers around the leader. The Big Seven enter the loop in a V formation to execute the split. The synchro pair approach in close formation for the unbelievable shotgun. Rolling in sequence, they finish flying close inverted inline astern at only 150 feet. In a show that lasts some 18 minutes, the Red Arrows execute more than 20 separate maneuvers in a performance that can only be described as spectacular. British Aerospace, Europe's leading defence and aerospace company, exhibited the Hawk 100 Advanced Trainer, along with a variety of other products at the ERASA Expo. Operated by 14 air arms worldwide, the Hawk has become one of the world's most successful lead-in fighter trainers. This aircraft is a strong contender as a replacement for our aging Impala jet trainers, which are fast becoming obsolete. The display of the Hawk with its upgraded Rolls-Royce Ardua turbofan engine for operating at high altitudes was another first at the South African Air Force International Air Show. The aircraft was also specially decorated in South African colours to mark the occasion. The South African Air Force has played a vital role in the development of South Africa's aerospace industry. The ERASA Expo, which was held in conjunction with the International Air Show, provided an unparalleled opportunity for our local and international exhibitors to show off their wares. With more than 30 exhibitors from all over the world participating, it was no longer an embarrassment to be seen trading with South Africa or the Air Force. The continued support and development of our local aerospace industry has made a valuable contribution to the overall development of the country, and an industry that is recognized as amongst the best available internationally. In support of this, AeroSud, an engineering and refurbishment company from Halfway House, exhibited the new SMR 95 engine integration for the Mirage F1 and Cheetah jet fighters. This local development allows the upgrade to modern standards of these aircraft at a fraction of the cost of total replacement. During the show, the upgrade Super Mirage F1 was put through its paces to illustrate the benefit of such a program. These high-tech and somewhat futuristic helmet-mounted display and sighting systems developed by Kentron are yet another example of the country's ability to produce high-technology electronics and precision mechanical products. Aerotech, a division of the CSIR, is recognized as the national leader in aerospace research and development, manufacturing products that range from external fuel tanks to entire airframe structures, making use of the latest carbon fiber and composite material technology. Hunting Aviation has established itself as a significant aircraft support facility, responsible for the maintenance of the turboprop engines powering the new Astra trainer. The company's refurbishment projects and life extension programs were extensively used in the upgrading of the C-47 Dakota, which allowed the SAAF to continue using the TP DAC in a transport and maritime reconnaissance role. The high-tech nature of South Africa's aerospace industry even extends to the design and manufacture of parachutes. Parachute Industries of Southern Africa is one of the largest and most established military parachute manufacturers in the world, with a diverse range of products that include static line, free fall, and container delivery systems. The giant Antonov AN-124 transporter dominated the static display area, with the Ilyushin 76 making up part of the display amongst the big boys. Aircraft and crews came from as far afield as Australia, with the P-3C Orion from the Royal Australian Air Force, contrasting new technology in maritime reconnaissance and surveillance with that of the old, in the only remaining Shackleton, Pelican 1722 from 35 Squadron in the Cape. To celebrate the culmination of the South African Air Force's year-long anniversary celebration, 31 Air Forces from around the globe sent top-level delegations to take part in the event. The willingness of these foreign air forces to participate at South Africa's first international air show is testimony of this country's status in the international community and the high regard that these air forces have for the ability and achievement of the SAAF over the last 75 years. Until only recently, the Russian MiG was considered an enemy in South African skies. With South Africa's readmittance into the international arena, new ties have been forged with countries wishing to become involved in joint projects. The Moscow Aircraft Production Organization, MARPA, is one of many foreign companies who are eager to undertake such projects, and since September, the MiG-29 and Sukhoi 30 and 35 have been in the country at the invitation of the South African Air Force to carry out tests with our pilots, as well as attend the International Air Show. With a maximum speed of 2,450 kilometers per hour, the MiG-29 remains, as it was 10 years ago, the world's best tactical fighter. The MiG-29 made a sensation amongst pilots on the very first day of its appearance in service. Its high maneuverability, thrust-to-weight ratio, safety, ease of control, and comfort in the cockpit were far superior to other aircraft types operational at the time. The MiG-29 was designed for victory, and MARPA is the only Russian producer of aviation material which gained the right to trade independently and take part in joint cooperation ventures with foreign countries. The MiG has been exported to 50 countries, with some 4,500 aircraft being produced over the last 30 years. From this stable comes a new advanced trainer, the MiG-AT. It's a new generation trainer that will take pilots from ab initio training right through to training for combat roles, and is another strong contender to replace the Impala.
New generation means that its flight characteristics can be reprogrammed so to simulate the flight on each existed now in the world type of aircraft.